EURUSD grabbed the liquidity here on the 1 hour time frame, and after grabbing that liquidity we saw a 1 hour change of character in towards the upside, making this overall sell before the buy up your overall area of demand, which eventually pushed the market up higher. Now I highlighted this yesterday inside Discord, so if you're not inside Discord, make sure to check out the market updates channels, because we as a team send a lot of updates there on the major pairs that we trade. Now looking at EURUSD, we can clearly see that we're still within an overall area of consolidation. If we mark out the range high over here and we mark out the overall range low, we can see that we've come back down another time for the overall range low. So once, twice, here we've rated the overall range high, and the market is just stuck already since mid-August within this overall sideways price action. So it is a little bit hard to trade euro at the moment, I'm not going to lie, but what I want to show you guys is something interesting that I noted. That is this overall descending trend line that we had here. Okay, so what happened here is that we had a 1, a 2, and now a third tap of that overall trend line, and then a very strong sell-off in towards the downside, meaning that, in my opinion, a lot of people have now sold on this overall bearish candlestick with probably the stop loss above the overall high. Now, before this overall third trend line touch took place, a lot of people obviously went long on that overall bullish candlestick, where, again, with their stop loss underneath the overall low. So those lows have now been swiped, so I wouldn't be surprised if EURUSD were to push up higher and now take out the overall range high once again, as in my opinion a lot of people got into sells on that overall strong sell candle. However, we have to keep in mind again, EURUSD at the moment is not the best pair to trade due to its consolidative nature, where we're just simply moving sideways within an area of range. So for myself, this is just purely guessing, but all I can say is that we want to focus on buys from the lows and we want to focus on sells from the highs. So let's see what happens with euro. I would preferably want to see another drive in towards the upside. If we do get that and we liquidate this overall high here, then I'll be keeping an eye open for a 1 hour change of character, then to look for a potential short back in towards the downside. Okay, so that's what I have for EURUSD. For the rest, I mean, I can talk very, very long about it, but I don't really need to, because you guys see it as well. The market is just consolidative, guys. Overall, still, this is the swing low in towards the swing high. The overall market itself retraced back down into the obviously discount at first here at the end of July, and since then we've been pushing up higher. Now since mid-August we've then been stuck within this overall range, and we're now just waiting for price action to choose a direction. However, just remember the overall swing structure is still bullish, so it still makes sense to look for longs. Let's keep an eye open on this overall descending trend line. Can we see another drive up higher on euro to then take out kind of like that third trend line touch and the high of this overall sell, where a lot of people have got into with their stop loss above the overall high. So yeah, looking at this from a range perspective, makes sense to push up higher, as we're also at the lower bound of this overall consolidated piece of price action here on the 4 hour time frame, obviously nearing kind of like the mid range if we were to draw on the range trading tool, where you're then going to see that we're around the 0.5 fib. So again, not ideal area to look for trades. If you want to get into a trade on euro, then you have to look at trading from the lower bound or from the higher bound of the range, and then obviously we will look for sells from the higher bound and we'll look for buys from the lower bound. Now let's focus on some pairs that actually give us opportunities, but before we do that, let's dive into the dollar. So the dollar for now sold off back in towards the downside. To be honest, I didn't really expect this to happen in the way that it did. As we can see here on the 4 hour time frame, pretty much this buy before the sell is what pushed the market down back in towards the lows. To be honest, again, I can give a very, very long kind of like explanation of price action, but at the moment, the dollar index, just like EURUSD, is also simply just consolidating. All of the liquidity has been grabbed in the sense that previously we grabbed these equal lows over here underneath the blue dotted line. Let me just clean up the chart for you guys a little bit. And on the other side, we also took out the range high over here. So the market is just very indecisive. We're stuck within this overall range. We've already swept the overall high of the range. We've already swept the overall low of the range. So now we're just stuck within the range. So there's not really any higher low to target, which is still open in my opinion, and therefore I'll just be waiting. I would love to see still the dollar push up higher at some point in time, as for example we could take out this overall let's say high over here, or still that NFP high from beginning of August. But let's see what I'm kind of looking for on euro. And just to give you guys an idea, here for example we have a third trend line touch. So we have the 1, we have the 2, we have the 3, then we have a strong bearish candlestick. A lot of people get into sells. Where do they place a stop loss? Above the high. then what happens? The market eventually comes back to take out that, and then we see a strong drop off. So that's kind of like what I'm talking about on EURUSD on the 4-hour time frame. That could potentially happen or on the daily time frame. That could potentially happen after seeing that daily strong bearish candle close. Now we're engineering a lot of liquidity above these overall highs, so I would love to see another drive in towards the highs before looking for any shorts, but let's see. Now let's have a look at GU and AUNU. So GBPUSD in itself, a very, very slow price action at the moment. What I'm seeing here as well is the potential for a trendline rejection in towards the downside, which would then again engineer a lot of liquidity. And with engineer a lot of liquidity, I just mean make or build a lot of liquidity. Here, 1, 2, third tap. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a bearish candle close today, and then maybe tomorrow again to end the week off another raid of the overall highs, which would then follow the overall order flow for you guys. So here, obviously, we now have a sell before a buy. Maybe tap into towards there today, and then tomorrow kind of like fly up and grab some more liquidity above these overall descending highs. For now, the overall sell before the buy here at the bottom did its work and did actually push the market up higher. I was more looking for something similar as on EURUSD, where GU would also take out the low and then, for example, look for another push in towards the highs. Didn't happen. For now, demand is in control. Here, demand, and now here we have demand. So I wouldn't be looking for any sells until this demand zone over here fails. Then we can look for some more sells again. Otherwise, I'll be looking for this just to close bearish today, and then we look for another drive in towards the highs to take out that liquidity. So that for me is kind of like the main trade at the moment I'm waiting for on GBPUSD. Going into AUDUSD, we can see that we made another drive in towards the highs. Overall, again, initial reaction to the initial bearish candlestick that now got liquidated here on the daily time frame. So let's keep an eye. Maybe now shorts could start to play out. AU again. Also, I mean, it's just a summer market at the end of the day as well, where we are so messy. We're not really seeing a clear trend here on AUDUSD. It's been really stuck since the beginning of the tariff situation, right? You can kind of see it's just stuck within this. Well, doesn't mean that we can't take trades, right? So let's have a look here at the daily time frame. So daily time frame wise, we're still fractal bearish. We're still inside daily supply. Go to the 4-hour time frame. You can see that we were building a lot of liquidity. So just to remove this and then remove this, we can see here that we were building a lot of liquidity underneath or above this high over here. So this high tried to take out the high. This high tried to take out the high. Both failed. Then boom, big reversal in towards the upside. Again, if we were looking for shorts from, let's say, this overall imbalance candle over here, then we would have needed some confirmation. Yeah, this you could use as a bump in the road, but no confirmation once the bump in the road got taken out, so no loss needed to be taken. Now, obviously, we've come back up higher, taken even more liquidity. For now, the 4-hour fractal is not really ideal. Let's see what happens. This is a strong area of imbalance because overall, this imbalance took out this previous high and then dropped in towards the downside. So I consider that a strong supply zone, but we would need to see a little bit more confirmation for any potential drop-off. For example, 1-hour fractal break, and then you could look for a sell-off in towards the downside. So let's keep an eye on that. Going into NZDUSD, NZDUSD pushed up higher again at the moment. What can I say, guys? We're taking out highs, we're taking out lows. Nothing really here from myself on NZDUSD. I would personally just wait for this to push up higher, and then eventually once we come here, maybe take out this, then wait for some bearish order flow to come into the markets again, and then potentially look for a short position. For myself, nothing really too much here on NZDUSD. I actually dreamed about NZDUSD last night, not gonna lie, that it didn't tap into this demand zone. Now that I'm starting to see this chart, I'm starting to think about it again. But overall, we have the monthly open level as well a little bit higher, so I would like to see us push a little bit higher and then maybe from there look for some downside again. But from this current level, I don't really see anything that I really like. Maybe, yeah, again, a short-term long, but also not very high probability. So I'll just be waiting for higher prices before getting into any shorts. USD Swiss, USD Yen, USD CAD, and Gold. So USD Swiss pushed down lower from the area of a supply over here, this red zone, push back in towards the downside. Let's see if we can see some follow-through happen here on USD Swiss. For the rest, extremely consolidative pair. Nothing really too much of interest for myself, but let's see. Would be nice to see some momentum come into the markets and see this continue down lower. It would make sense from a daily perspective because obviously the daily is swing bearish, right? So from this overall high in towards the low, again, the market kisses the 0.5 fib to pretty much absolute perfection, and then from there we start selling off in towards the downside. Now, again, we've been very consolidated, but we have been trickling down lower. So let's keep an eye open if we can now see the next sell in towards the downside. Again, we had 3 drives here in towards the highs. We had the first, the second, and then the third, and then the real sell-off came. So I would like to see this trickle down lower. Currently, the weekly open is acting as an area of support, but I would love for this to sell off down lower. USDCAD has also sold off in towards the downside, pretty much again from the monthly open level over here. Nice to see, and I'll be looking for this to sell off a little bit deeper in towards the lows. I talked about this as well, I think, inside the Discord community, guys. So again, I share a lot of free value there. We were looking at this area of demand to take a potential long in towards the highs, but then again, how is this demand zone formed? It's built on equal lows, so on ascending lows. So then at those kind of moments, I just prefer for this to sell off. Monthly open acting as rejection, pushing the market down lower. Again, a lot of ascending lows still open. I don't really see anything significant that could really cause a reversal, so I would look for some more short-term downside maybe here on USDCAD. To see some more downside. Then USD yen last of all, and then gold. So USD yen, the most consolidative pair of them all. Nice overall sell-off. Let's see. I would like this to sell off down lower as liquidity is still open here around the lows. So I would like for this, now that it's seen kind of like this 4-hour change of character here, for this to continue down lower. Maybe grab these ascending or descending highs, maybe primarily this one, and then look for the overall sell-off in towards the downside, towards the low of the range. So that's what I'm looking for in USD yen. And then, of course, gold for all of you. Gold in itself just continues to trickle up higher. This thing is squeezing like hell. So at some point in time, I do think there is going to be a deeper correction. Let's see. For now, this is obviously the main liquidity high, so it could just continue pushing up higher. And obviously, as long as the order flow holds, there's no real shorts to be taken. Here, sell before the buy remains in control. Here, sell before the buy remains in control. And for now, these imbalances / sell before the buy also remain in control, pushing the market up higher. So I would only be looking for shorts once we take out this high over here of around 34, 10. And then maybe look for short then, because we are squeezing in towards the highs. So maybe from there we could look for potential short position in towards the downside, as that is also just a natural area of resistance here for gold. So let's see if we can drive that high and then look for potential short. That is what I'll have my eyes open for, and then potentially, again, when we see that overall sell-off happen, we could then after that look for another long. But for now, very nice to see here is the overall kind of like daily sell for the buys holding control. This is why I just love sell for the buys. Here again, tap into the sell for the buy. Here again, tap into the sub for the buy, and that is just order flow holding and pushing the market up higher. So let's see. I would love to see a sell-off on gold very, very soon with the way that price is moving, because it's moving very similarly to how it previously moved here, where again we were squeezing every single time you break a low, you retrace, right? So here you break a low, you don't even close below every single time, only the last time before the real retracement up. And now again, you're seeing it kind of like happen. There's only one candlestick break, and then again already straight away bearish candlestick. So I'm looking for the overall corrections to take place, and it will most likely take place after we grab liquidity, and then I'll wait for the change of character to happen to then look for a short. So some short-term longs, and then overall be looking for a short afterwards. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, guys. Wish you all a fantastic trading day. This afternoon we're going live on YouTube, so make sure to be there. And wish you all an amazing day. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. I'm always there to support. Thanks.